ulcerative colitis symptoms, Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or 26 supporter. Subject to availability.
This is Lele Pons from Suite 305 with Lele Pons. My house, chaos, but like in a fun way. The TV's ready, the remotes are ready, the kids' stores are, and somehow everybody needs batteries at the exact same time. That's why I keep Duracell stocked. And Duracell is limited edition Duracell and Messi battery packs. The design is inspired by Messi's iconic left leg tattoo.
Watch 3 days free. For details, visit Fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox One for complete terms and conditions.
Natrol is the #1 drug-free sleep aid brand. It'll make you feel like the #1 sleeper in the world. So make Natrol your #1 choice for sleep. Nielsen lasted 52 weeks. Week ending 3/28/26. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Jackson Feltz, alongside the three-time national champion head coach Pete Fewing. We are about 16 minutes away from Brazil versus Norway in the round of 16 at New York, New Jersey Stadium. Let's get into it, everybody. Today's lineups are brought to you by Fox One. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official English streaming platform. To catch every unforgettable moment, Fox One brings the action straight to your screen so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live. Let us begin with Norway. They have one of the best players on planet Earth in Erling Haaland. Pete Fewing, what is Norway doing with their lineup today?
58-year-old Stahl Solbakken is going into his 61st match, 35 wins, 12 draws, 13 losses. He's playing a 4-3-3, Nyland in goal, Ryerson, Nyerson, your right back, Ayar, Hegem, your center backs, Moeller, Wolf will be your left back. The middle three, Odegaard on the right, Berg on the left, Berge in the middle. Your front three, Surloff on the right, Nusa on the left, and Haaland up front.
Yeah, so there he is. We'll talk about Norway. Yeah, he sure is. We'll talk about them in a minute. For Brazil, Don Carlos Ancelotti, one of the greatest on planet Earth, for 5-time UEFA Champions League titles.
Just got his first win in the knockout stage.
Knockout stages. Yeah. That was the great win that they had the last second against Japan, and here he is now in the round of 16. What is he doing with his starting lineup? Alisson is in goal in this 4-2-3-1. Danilo, Marquinhos, Gabriel Santos is that back four, and then it's Guimarães and Casemiro in that holding midfield. Casemiro, one of the best holding midfielders on planet Earth. Ryan Martinelli, who scored the winner against Japan, and then Vinny Jr. on the other wing with Cunha up top for Brazil. Pete, this is an interesting one. We can kind of break this thing down from a lot of different angles. Brazil is a team so powerful, just so diverse, so balanced. And then for Norway, they do have, as you mentioned, the beast up top, one of the best ever to do it from that forward position in Erling Haaland. Very interesting matchups in this game today.
Yeah, the big-time players have to show up, but you and I chatted prior about Brazil. We are in Seattle. There was a Husky football broadcast team of Bob Rondo and Chuck Nelson. Bob Rondo asked Chuck Nelson once, Stay with me. Stay with me. He said, hey, how do you describe Pete Carroll's USC offense in one word? And Chuck Nelson just went, ugh. And so when I look at Brazil, I'm with you. I love Casemiro. It was left on the field. Ancelotti left him on the field. That was questionable. Then he gets the awesome header at the back. Vinny Jr., that right side, Santos as well, Martinelli. This is a very loaded Brazil team. I love Japan. I loved how they played the Norway 2-2 tie to open group stage was fantastic. I didn't want to see them go out, but Brazil is Brazil. So Norway will have their hands full. They've got to get... Norway has not had a clean sheet yet, right? They have given up 1 goal against Iraq, 2 against Senegal. France is a outlier because they changed 10 of their 11 starters, but even Ivory
chances. They're going to need to cash them.
Yeah, and you got to beat Allison too. So yeah, it is a formidable lineup that Brazil put out. And then Neymar, Thiago, Rafinha are all on the bench, right? And so they've got weapons that they can say, hey, let's wear them down. But and which they did with Japan, right? And came with late goals to tie it up and go ahead. So yes, this is my heart wants to see Haaland go, but boy, oh boy, today's games, this one, Brazil, Norway, Mexico, England.
Yeah.
Wow, what a day of football, yeah.
What a day we have ahead in the World Cup. We'll get a break. We'll come back, give you our players to watch, give you some final keys in the history for Brazil and Norway in the World Cup. We're about 10 minutes away from kickoff at New York, New Jersey Stadium. You are listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
This is Lele Pons from Suite 305 with Lele Pons. Game day at my house, it's chaos, but like in a fun way. The TV's ready, the remotes are ready, the kids' stores are going off, and somehow everybody needs batteries at the exact same time. That's why I keep Duracell stocked. And Duracell just released limited edition Duracell and Messi battery packs. The design is inspired by Messi's iconic left leg tattoo. So every battery feels like it comes with an extra kick. From the TV remote to automatic corkscrew, Duracell keeps us game day ready. Duracell double and AAA batteries are the only ones built different with power boost ingredients for long-lasting performance you can trust. Find the limited edition Duracell and Messi batteries in stores at Lowe's and Walmart or on Amazon.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox 1, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox 1. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit Fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox 1 for complete terms and conditions.
Toyota's 4th of July sales event ends Monday. Shop Toyota's 21 hybrid and electrified models like Corolla Hybrid and Camry. Low APR on all EVs like 1.99% on the CHR or 0% APR plus finance cash on BZ. Toyota, let's go places. Click the banner or visit toyota.com for details.
listening to the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. Jackson Phelps back here alongside the three-time national champion head coach Pete Fewing. In just 8 minutes, we have Brazil versus Norway at New York, New Jersey Stadium for Norway. They've only been in the World Cup. This is their fourth time. The first came in the third ever World Cup in 1938. That year, Norway had their best ever finish, losing in the round of 16. They matched that mark again in 1998. In 1938, they lost 2-1 in extra time to eventual champion Italy, but then that was their last World Cup appearance until 1994. In 98, by the way, they also lost to Italy. For Brazil, they are the power. 23 times in the World Cup. They started in the inaugural in 1930. They are the only five-time World Cup champion, of course. And in FIFA's ranking system, Brazil holds the record for the most Team of the Year first place rankings with 14. They've advanced to the quarterfinals in the World Cup every year since 1994. And in 4 of the last 5 World Cups, they were eliminated in the quarterfinals, which they are looking to get back to today. Of note, Pete, Brazil and Norway actually played once. In the 1998 World Cup, a 2-1 win for Norway in Marseille, France. So these clubs have played before, and Norway got the win. All right. Today's players to watch are brought to you by Fox One. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official English streaming platform. To catch every unforgettable moment, Fox One brings the action straight to your screen so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live. A lot of choices for players to watch, Pete.
Well, I would say first the starting 11 for Brazil would be my players to watch. But and I'm going to flip it around a little bit. When we started doing the group stage, I went with goalkeepers, right, on occasion. So as much as I want to go with Haaland, I'm going to go with Nyland. He's got to have he's yet to have a clean sheet. They've given up 8 goals. He was not in there for 4 of those 8. He's got to stand on his head today. He's got to be flawless.
I mean, when you look at the Brazil attack of Vini Jr., 4 goals, Cunha, 3 goals, Casemiro has a goal as well. Just so dangerous. You think about that they are going to get their chances. So when we talk about Norway, because my player to watch is for sure Erling Haaland, I think, Pete, that when Norway gets their few chances, and they will get chances, I think that you need their stars, especially Erling Haaland, to score and probably get 2 just to give you the comfortability of getting this to potentially 120 minutes and penalties.
Yeah, and you cannot count Brazil out ever. So you've got to play the 90 minutes. You've got to play at least 6 minutes of stoppage time. They've got to be incredibly aware of the movement, how they move off the ball, how they interchange with each other, how dangerous they are coming across. Vini Jr. coming across from that left-hand side, hitting the first goal in the first game, right?
What a
phenomenal goal against Morocco. So it's a team that is so dynamic and so talented. And I love that you appreciate Casemiro. I do as well. His header at the back post, physical, strong. I mean, this is a very loaded Brazil team. You know, you talk about their history. I think Pelé really put them on the map in his days and set a bar, and they have maintained that bar ever since.
Certainly so. It's the powerhouse of Brazil. They've won 5 World Cups against Norway, who have been only in the World Cup for 4 times. It's a power. It's a little bit of David versus Goliath. Let's send things out to New York, New Jersey Stadium. Brazil-Norway starts next. You are listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
Listening to our pre-match coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. Fox's play-by-play coverage of today's match is coming up next.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Peter Bogdanovich is a man of many
Peter
passions.
Bogdanovich burst upon the film.
Bogdanovich is best known as a director of films like The Last.
Peter Bogdanovich helped change the way movies were made, starting with his first hit in 1971, The Last Picture Show.
Thought you might want to go to the picture show.
Yeah, might as well go.
At age 31, he became one of the hottest directors in Hollywood.
All his life he has wanted to make movies, and he did.
His self-confidence. He knew what he wanted to do.
Now, this movie fan is a successful director.
Peter's career was kind of the ultimate triumph of the film critic, film nerd, film buff.
And he liked being in love.
Peter and I, we were the first unmarried couple on the cover of People magazine. Oh, horrors.
You have her, you have 4 pictures in a row that make
People hated them.
A guy has to learn to hate you.
But Peter's success did not last.
I made a lot of mistakes, but we're starting again now.
And just as he was on his way back up,
She fell in love with another man.
The happiest girl in the world.
Wait, Dorothy Stratton.
he suffered an unspeakable tragedy.
Playboy magazine's 1980 Playmate of the Year has been found shot to death.
And finally, the phone rings. I answered it. It was Hefner. He said 2 words. Dorothy's dead.
I'm Ben Mankiewicz, your host for The Plot Thickens, a new podcast from Turner Classic Movies. Each season, we'll bring you an in-depth story about the movies and the people who make them. Our first season, I'm still Peter Bogdanovich.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. Number 1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
iHeartRadio's World Cup coverage continues as we join Fox's live play-by-play action of today's FIFA World Cup 2026 match. Follow all the exclusive World Cup action on iHeartRadio.
It is so loud here. Norwegian fans down to our right, Brazilian fans everywhere in this stadium. It is so loud, and it feels like the tournament is really getting underway.
Carlo Ancelotti, who's the kind of coach really who'd only raise an eyebrow, I think, if you told him a tornado was heading this way. He gets footballers, Ståle Solbakken, who's been in charge of Norway for a long time. This is the biggest match Norway have ever played. And as Rebecca was telling you earlier, it's fascinating. Brazil have played 91 countries in their history. The only team they've never had a win over is Norway. That's in 4 clashes, including the 1998 World Cup match played in Marseille, when Norway scored twice late on to win 2-1. Mind you, Brazil were already through at that time. It was a group game. This, well, the stakes are very, very high indeed. The word in the Brazilian media was the team are confident but a little cautious. They know exactly how Haaland could punish them if there are any errors at the back. Brazil, who twice had to come from behind so far, including an epic win they had over Japan, almost with the last kick of the game, scored by Gabriel Martinelli, who gets a starting place as a result of that today. No Paquetá, he's got a muscle injury and misses this game. That's quite an important miss because he's been very good as the playmaker. Hit long towards Sørloth, normally a centre forward, but always deployed by Norway out on that right-hand side because they've got another chap who's quite good in the middle.
Okay, so interesting early, Norway coming after Brazil. I didn't know what to expect, but pressing high in an early turnover here, showing their intent right away, Ian, that they're not coming to sit back.
Fantastic scene looking around this stadium. I'd say the yellow shirts are outnumbering the red shirts by about 5-1, but the Norway fans have been one of the stories of this World Cup. That Viking ship has rowed all the way to the Hudson now. Pearson back in the side, having been injured in the second match of the tournament. He must have wondered if that was his World Cup over. It isn't. He's back here. he could be an important supplier of crosses later on in the game. All pretty congested over there. Here's Bruno Guimaraes. Haaland got a head to it though. Leeson to lay it inside. And Ødegaard to bring it on. And Sørloth to take it forward. Chance here for Norway. Cut back. Wonderful opportunity. And a goal by Berg for Norway. How about that? Third minute. And Brazil are rocked. What an incredible start.
Well, it looks just offside, Ian. Was waiting to see, and the flag went up late. Celebrations will be subdued once the Norwegian fans realize here it's clearly off. But they have targeted that right side with Sørloth very often and almost got the goal there.
Such an anticlimax for these Norway fans. Patrick Berg's goal. It would have been his first in his 48th cap as well. He doesn't count. The flag is up. The decision is confirmed. And Brazil are off the hook. Here's Haaland v Gabriel, part one. There will be plenty of other chapters to write in that one today.
So important for that goal. Sometimes goals get scored by, call Norway an underdog. And you say, okay, but it was a bit lucky or something happened and the goal got called off, so we feel okay. That was a splitting pass into Ødegaard, who turned and faced forward. Sørloth was gone. And you just start to feel already, Ian, that could be a problem for Brazil tonight. And Douglas Santos needs to be really careful.
He's got a big job in that left-back role. The player recalled after 9 years out of the team by Ancelotti. Winners, remember, go into the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Sørloth looking to cause more damage on that right-hand side. Is Riasson. The captain Ødegaard, who's been part of this Norway team since he was 15. Now Nusa, scorer of a great goal in the last game against the Ivory Coast. Norway have started very confidently. Sørloth again. They'll get a corner. Laden, you said before the game, while we were listening to the anthems, that one or two of the Norway players looked a little nervous about the occasion, but I guess adrenaline's a great thing. You're nothing without it, are you?
Yeah, actually, Erling Haaland looked very kind of calm, smiley, which he usually does. And now I'm starting to think, I think they were just prepared and calm and ready for this. They have come out really ready for this.
Here's the corner kick. Which is going to have to be retaken. Big assignment for the American referee Ismail Elfat today. Born in Casablanca and came to the US when he was 18 years old. 6th World Cup game for him. Bounces around dangerously in there, Brazil. Quite happy to hack it away. And they'll expect to grow into the game, as we've seen once or twice from them before. And Martinelli gets his first involvement. Here's Vinicius. Sanderberger quickly across to regain possession for the Norwegians. Ødegaard. In quite a few weeks for him. Arsenal winning the title. Beaten on penalties in the Champions League final. Here he is in a big, big game at the World Cup too. That's Hegem playing it back to the goalkeeper Nilan. Christopher Ayer, who plays for Brentford in the English Premier League. Marquinhos for Brazil. To Rayan. Teenager getting a run in the side because of the Rafinha injury, but Rafinha is available to come on. We don't know how many minutes he might have in his legs after the injury, hamstring. They're glad to have him around again. Anyway, here's Rayan again. Bruno Guimaraes cuts it back. Best yet from Brazil. Martinelli. Guimaraes on the ball again. He's got 4 assists already in this World Cup. The Brazilian number 8. And there's the number 7, Vinicius Junior. Looked like the ball went out of play. Yeah, did.
But Douglas Santos does a good job making a penetrating run through the middle. Leaves Vinny Jr. by himself out here. Oh, poor Rierson's going to have to deal with this a lot tonight. Just went over the end line, but perhaps a sign of things to come.
Is Berg coming up on Fox Mexico against England from the cauldron in Mexico City that is the Azteca. That's coming up after our game on Fox. Every game from here on in is a monster at this World Cup. You won't want to miss a thing. This is Berger, who plays for Fulham in the English Premier League. Hegum up towards Nusa. He's robbed by Rayan, who keeps possession. Bruno Guimaraes with a lovely through ball. Martinelli to Cunha. Oh, that might be a penalty. The referee's not giving it at the moment. Well, there's a huge, huge talking point.
Well, this looks like a penalty, Ian. The only thing might be, did Cunha go down too early? I mean, it's a penalty. It's a clear foul.
Mark Clattenburg, in you come.
Even though the defender might get a slight touch on the ball, this is a clear penalty. Takes his man out, Cunha. So therefore, without playing the ball cleanly, this is going to be a penalty. What the referee might do is there might be a foul in the build-up to the goal. So there was a tackle made by a Brazilian midfielder on his opponent. And I'm just checking to see if there's a potential foul in the build-up. The VAR will check this.
That might be the only reprieve. What a big decision for the American official here. I thought he was going to give it, but he didn't. Not on field. And there is another issue that Mark Clattenburg has addressed. Was there some other offence before all that which would negate any discussion? Well, it's going to be reviewed.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the contact here, Ian, is a penalty. And even just watching it happen live, you could see Ayer thinking he was going to get the ball. It wasn't a moment where he would pull back, and I think inevitably this will be a penalty.
Ayer on Cunha. Yeah, it's a penalty. It looked a penalty. It is a penalty. And I don't think there's very much debate about it.
Here's what Mark was talking about. Was there a foul there you know, if he had made the call on the field, maybe, but this is a clear penalty.
Vinicius Jr. hovering over the spot. 11 of the 14 penalties so far have been scored.
And Ian, Clarence Seedorf is here in the booth with us, and right when it happened, he said clear penalty, so that's why I knew it was a penalty.
He'd know.
He would.
It's going to be Bruno Guimaraes to take it. Big chance here for Brazil to strike an early blow. And it's saved by Haaland, brilliantly, diving away to his left. Well, there's a turn up for the book.
We all looked at each other, Ian, and said, why is Vinny Jr. not taking this? I'm not sure why, obviously, but wow, what a big moment. And Haaland was all over it.
Well, an escape for both sides in the opening stages. That offside call ruling out the Patrick Berg goal at one end. And then, well, much, much worse, Brazil fluffing a penalty kick. What next? A 35-year-old goalkeeper who struggles to get a game for Sevilla in La Liga with a huge moment in his career. A penalty save on a stage like this. He's Norway's oldest World Cup player, Ørjan Haaland, and he did this.
Ian, this has happened over and over in this tournament. Everybody now, it seems like, stutters before they get there and slows their rundown. And ultimately, the goalkeepers kind of know it. And you generate less power when you do that. And if you guess the right way, as Haaland did, you're going to save it.
Wasn't a great penalty, frankly, by the Newcastle United man.
I'm shocked Vinny didn't take that.
Yeah.
Truly shocked.
Me too. And you wonder what the reasons could have been. Still got a smile on his face. Ryan skipped away from Wolfer pretty easily and tries his luck. He has come up with 5 Premier League goals since joining Bournemouth in January. I was just thinking, doesn't matter how hot it is, Carlo Ancelotti always turns up in a suit, waistcoat, very smart shirt.
And he's never, ever sweating. I don't know how he does it.
And all Brazil's golden oldies are here as well. Remember, 24 years since they won the World Cup, so there are just a few players around in this squad who weren't even born when that last happened. The year when Ronaldo was the big star, winning the Golden Boot. I think Aya is feeling the most relieved man in this stadium at the moment. Hegem to bring it away here for the Norwegians. Berger, now Ødegaard.
What's interesting too, Ian, I think if Ismail Alfath had given the penalty, he might have booked him as well. Because he didn't, he doesn't get the booking, which is really important for him.
Nusa. And Sander Berger again. Here's Rierson. He's right up there with the leading assist makers in Europe's top 5 leagues this past season. It's been extraordinary, really. Brazil breaking up the play, can counter here. They've got a 3 against 3 at the moment. Martinelli wide, a bit too wide maybe for Vinicius. Off the outside of the boot, he's so good with those kind of crosses. There's Berg, little midfield player who thought he was on the score sheet. Plays for Bodo Glimt, the team from the Arctic Circle. It's kind of like the Arctic Circle against the Amazon here, isn't it?
You know, I'm not sure who this favors more. The game's become very open already. And I think as it goes on, it is hot here. Could become more so. On one hand, you have Vinny, Mateus Cunha, Ryan. On the other hand, you have Erling Haaland. And you don't want to play Erling Haaland and Odegaard with half of the field to defend. So as a neutral, we hope it continues. But I think both coaches be a little stressed if this continues.
Cunha wanted a 1-2 with Casemiro. Into the gap. Cunha just wanted that pass delaying a split second because he'd made a good run. Cunha has 3 goals so far for Brazil in this tournament. Vinicius has 4. Mbappe and Messi leading the way with 7 apiece. And well, it is a great subplot, the race for the golden boot, but it is a subplot. Odegaard. Erling Haaland has hardly touched the ball so far, but we've said that a lot of times in his career, and the next thing he's done is put the ball in the back of the net. Just waiting for the chance. Norway's only defeat here so far at the World Cup, 4-1 against France, but they made 10 changes that day. They knew they were already through, so you can probably put a line through that bit of form. Solok kept it in play. Odegaard again. Very much the director of operations in that Norwegian midfield, of course. Give me the ball, he says, and they do. They always do. Once again, Odegaard. Out wide, Ryerson once more. Lost of possession for Norway. Where can they take it? They know all the time that one errant pass, well, they're knocking it around like this, and Brazil will be pouncing for a quick counter, as we recently saw. How did your kickabout this morning go down in Hoboken?
That was fun. It's too hot, though.
What did the locals think when you turned up for a random game?
Well, they didn't know at first, and they asked if I would play.
Yeah.
I said I'm not very good, but I'll do my best. Then at some point, one of them said, "Hold on." It's fun, though.
I heard you missed a couple of chances, actually.
I always do.
It's Wolfer for Norway. Nusa. They know about the danger he can provide as well from that left-hand side. The Leipzig wingers had some rave reviews going into this World Cup, and by and large, he's kind of underlined the point here. player they have to watch here with these free kicks is Alexander Sørloth. He's really good in the air, given half a chance with a header.
Erling Haaland's all right as well.
Yeah, not too bad. So that's two, isn't it? And Ayer will come forward as well from the back. Musa. Oh, how about that? See you later moment from him. Rierson. Now Berg. No, they've lost the ball again. And this could be danger. Cunha. He might go alone here, you know. Cunha. And he appeals to the referee, but he's not going to get it. Wolfe did enough.
Well, excellent defending by Wolfe in the end. It almost feels like Brazil are just trying to bait Norway into this. And they know if pick off one pass or win one tackle, 2v2 or 3v3. And I don't think the Brazilian fans are happy about it because they're watching their team defend for a long time. But pretty clearly, that is a big advantage for Brazil. It feels like it's only a matter of time until they score if that continues.
They have to be so careful, the Norwegians, in being caught out like that. It's happened twice now in the last, 5-10 minutes. Rierson to lay it inside Ødegaard. Lost possession. Not much punch at the moment from Norway. By the way, Bruno Guimaraes, the first Brazilian to miss a World Cup penalty since Zico against France way back in 1986. And there will be a debate about their choice of taker.
Well, Vinny's taken two for Brazil. He missed one and made one. It just feels, Ian, he's the star of the team, and I was expecting him to grab the ball and say, this is mine, and bury it.
Sørloth able to control it. Here's Marquinhos. Winner of the last two Champions League titles, of course, with Paris Saint-Germain. They kept him nice and fresh. They hardly played him in the league this last season. Danilo wide. Here's the 19-year-old Rayan. Musa. Another of those slalom runs. Casemiro to break it up. It's the match break now, sponsored by Lenovo, and the big talking point so far has been the missed penalty by Bruno Guimaraes. Like this, big save from Oyan Niland. What's on the next reel here?
This is Lele Pons from Suite 305 with Lele Pons. Game day at my house, it's chaos, but like in a fun way. The TV's ready, the remotes are ready, the kids' stores are going off, and somehow everybody needs batteries at the exact same time. That's why I keep Duracell stocked. And Duracell just released limited edition Duracell and Messi battery packs. The design is inspired by Messi's iconic left leg tattoo. So every battery feels like it comes with an extra kick. From the TV remote to automatic corkscrew, Duracell keeps us game day ready. Duracell double and AAA batteries are the only ones built different with power boost ingredients for long-lasting performance.
Well, there's no Brazil.
Find the limited edition Duracell and Messi batteries in stores at Lowe's and Walmart or on Amazon.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Going back to the New York, New Jersey Stadium. Ian Dark alongside Landon Donovan, bringing you coverage of Brazil, the 5 times world champions, against Norway in the biggest match that they've ever played. Norway had the ball in the net early on. Patrick Berg ruled out for an offside in the build-up. And then Brazil missing a penalty. Bruno Guimarães, his 48th cap. It's the first time he's ever taken a penalty for Brazil.
Again, just really bizarre. I can't figure out why. I'm sure the Brazilian media will ask Carlo Ancelotti after the game, just so people understand. Sometimes the coach makes the decision, and sometimes it's how the players feel on the field. I'm not sure which one it was, but that was just very bizarre. Vinny is a superstar, and you expect that he's going to take penalties in those moments and wants his name up in the lights.
Just looking at Brazil's recent penalties since 2024, Igor Thiago, not in the starting lineup's taken a couple. Estevao, who's not here injured, he took one. Rafinha, 3. He's not out there. He might be later. Paquetá, he's not out there, 2. So they did have a little bit of an issue. Vinicius, just 2 for Brazil. 1 scored, 1 missed, as I think you said, Landon. Casemiro. However the decision was reached, it didn't work. Danilo with the deep cross towards Vinny Jr. Martinelli can latch onto this. He's very, very quick, and he deflects right across the face of goal. Just needed a touch. Danilo's effort was a miscue, and Norway get away with that. Explosive burst of pace from Gabriel Martinelli in that attack.
Well, we called their game against Japan, and how they started creating chances was little clip balls from the half space into the box. This one falls back post to Vinny, who lays in Martinelli, and Nealon really happy when he looks back to see that not nestle into the net.
Or onto the head of Bruno Guimarães. He was waiting on the back post. Don't forget, the US v Belgium, round of 16, tomorrow on Fox. Coverage, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Haaland, they're breaking behind here. Alisson very quickly out. And of course, Alisson, a veteran of many Liverpool, Manchester City confrontations down the years, especially going back in the Jurgen Klopp era. Jurgen Klopp is here today with German television, and it's been confirmed he is the new national team manager for Germany. And all kinds. Jay-Z's here, presumably in an Empire state of mind today.
Okay, Ian. Love that from
John with the $40 super chat.
And Gabrielle.
Appreciate you, buddy.
You didn't
Thank
think
you, John,
I
for
knew
the
that,
super.
did you?
Appreciate you.
So did I for a moment.
As it came to Erling Haaland and Gabrielle, they were wrestling and battling, and ultimately fell back to Alisson. We saw Gabrielle yelling at Ismail Alfath to give him a foul, and he responded with his hands and just said, "You guys are both tussling each other. I'm not going to call it." So something to pay attention to.
Here's Ødegaard again.
Shit, might as well just slow it down.
Berger. Musa. He's has been really good, apart from that penalty miss at this World Cup, as Bruno Guimaraes broke up that attack. Danilo, 34 now, to Vinicius. He's quick, but not that quick. Just past the half-hour mark, there's been incident here in this game, but no goals so far. The winners of this one go into the quarter-final to play Mexico or England, who meet later on. Alisson's calm, had to get there, and he did. The quarter-final will be in Miami on Saturday. But who'll be there? And who's getting a plane home? Spread wide by Casemiro. A bit of a comeback concert for him this last season. Casemiro, a lot of people have kind of written him off. Is Haaland involved? Look how quickly they're on the case every time he gets the ball. But he kept it all right, but then Norway did give it away. Cunha. Vinicius. Bruno Guimaraes. Rayan. Vinicius. It's Brazil who are carrying the throw, Landon.
They're more dangerous. Norway has all the ball, but Brazil in those moments where they counter, very dangerous. Till now, though, Norway have defended it well.
Rayan. Danilo with a loose ball. It was a loose ball by him that gave Japan their goal the other day. Sanu ran a long way and then dispatched it into the net. Something similar may be going on here, because here's Nusa towards Odegaard. Odegaard again! Into the side netting. I think some of the Norwegian fans at the other end of the stadium thought that might have gone in. Unhappily for them, it didn't, but that all came from a loose pass by Danilo.
This time it was Norway countering. Sorloth carried the ball as far as he could. Always wanted to get it to that man, Martin Odegaard. Came inside, played Nusa, fell back to him. Little dribbling, ultimately dragged it wide. But those are good moments for Norway as well, with Sorloth, Haaland, and Odegaard. They're happy to play in a counter-attack as well.
Cunha was beaten to the ball by Nusa. Here's Sorloth against Sorloth of Atletico Madrid. Saw his manager wearing an Argentina shirt, as he used to as a player. Diego Simeone, the other day, that memorable Argentina game against Cape Verde, who have flown home to a hero's welcome, well deserved, even from the guys who work at the airport. Great to see. And as Stu Holden said, they deserve our thanks for everything they brought to this World Cup. Nusa to place it. Haaland with a little flick. Catching practice for Alisson, as it turned out. But you could see Haaland's idea.
It's amazing. He just never has to touch the ball to feel comfortable in the match. This is so clever. He hits that a little higher. It's got topspin on it. You can see that nestling into the far post.
Can't get anybody to stay there.
I was thinking the other day, that winner he got against the Ivory Coast, even when he mishits the ball, it goes in. I think he was kind of looking to just kind of control that and put it in, but bounced off him and into the net. Look in the newspaper, as they say. Here's the goal scorer. Wolfert to break that up for Norway. Berger's picked up a little bit of a knock there. Presumably the play will be brought back for a free kick.
Shout out to the 2 people watching. I appreciate you guys.
See the high boot here by Martinelli, just catches him.
Yep, just a free kick. Coming up, the Bank of America halftime show. Thierry Zlatan with Rebecca to pour over this first half here. Norway started very, very strongly, had the ball in the net. Sørloth. And luckily for them, didn't count. Odegaard, who's touched the ball far more surely than any other player on the pitch in this first half. Musa. Guimaraes. Now Casemiro. Just waiting, trying to pull the Norwegian defence out of shape here. Casemiro trying his luck. Hegem got in the way of that one. Casemiro on the score sheet in the last game against Japan with a far post header. He scored a stack of headers over this past season.
Yeah, foul on
Manchester
Haaland.
United. Looks like he's on his way to play for Inter Miami. Vinicius. Good work that by Rierson. Odegaard missed out there. Vinicius here! Big save again from Milan.
Well, you just can't turn the ball over against this Brazilian side, and Odegaard here gets a little too clever. Vinny picks him off, rolls it by Rierson. Very good save by Nealon there with his right knee.
Another attack is coming. This time it's Brazil's turn to give the ball away, but Norway have been caught out now 2 or 3 times with the loose passes. They've got away with it so far. But they're playing with fire, aren't they?
They are. It's hard to know whether Ståle Solbakk and their coach will be happy with how this has gone or not, because all the possession has been really good, and it's kept them, as we see the chance again here in the save, it's kept them from having to defend for long stretches against Brazil, but they haven't created big chances other than the goal that was called back. And alternatively, Brazil have created some big chances in transition, so they need to be careful, but the possession is actually helpful for them. They just can't have careless giveaways.
James Corden and the After Hours gang will be on at Fox tonight for another nightly wrap of the World Cup action at midnight local. It's a fun show, well worth catching. Haaland here. Good covering by his old adversary, Gabriel. Was there a little verbal exchange between them there? Maybe, maybe not. Haaland is a father of a baby son now. Norway won the ball back well. Nusa. Haaland. Odegaard. Blocked by Danilo.
And this was the first big moment where Erling Haaland had the ball isolated, faced up. In the end, I think he makes a good decision there to play in Odegaard. Can't get it out of his feet, but does get Norway a corner where they can be very dangerous.
Closing stages of the first half here in New Jersey. Not the best corner. It needed some kind of near post flick on, but there was nobody really there to do that.
It's a really poor corner kick, Ian.
Yeah.
Big missed opportunity. You can't leave that short. And if you do, you need someone running across the near post to flick it on. That's just a waste.
Not that many people fancied Brazil going into this World Cup. They were fifth in the South American qualifying. Cunha got a second bite of the cherry there from Hegem. And the brakes on here for Surlot. He's not going to beat Douglas Santos with pace. He can't do that. He's not a speedy winger, but he is experienced. Get a feeling with this game that it's kind of bubbling under, as the old disc jockeys used to say. You probably never heard of that phrase, have you, Landon?
No, I do. I have.
Okay. Bubbling under the Billboard Top 100 or something.
It feels like there's a goal coming. And you just saw the first moment where Erling Haaland got to face forward. You cannot give him too many chances like that. Brazil on the other side are just waiting for the right pass or the right final play to score the goal too.
I think both teams looking at the staging post at half-time, aren't they? Just at the moment. Norway looking to get further than they've ever been in the World Cup. This is their fourth attempt. Haaland. Some good work there. Here's Berger, another player seeing a lot of the ball in that midfield. Just a bit of a shortage of end product for Norway.
Jalen Brunson in the house. Congrats to him and the New York Knicks. You wouldn't know anything about that, Ian.
The New York Knicks, Madison Square Garden. Yeah, everybody's going crazy about that around here.
You went to a Dodger game, too.
I did.
Full-on American.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it, too. Against the Padres. Haaland, I'm told, has had 10 touches so far. He averages a goal every 14 touches at the World Cup.
So 4 more, he'll score a goal. All right.
If only it was that easy. Norway corner. 6 minutes of added time in the first half. Played deep. Surlot went for it. Didn't quite get to with the header. And could there be another Brazilian break? No, not like that. This is Wolfer, who struggled to get in the Wolves team, frankly, last season, but trusted by Solbakken as his first choice left back. That was a Wolves team who were relegated by miles as well from the Premier League. They'll be playing in the Championship next season. We've got quite a lot of players at this World Cup.
So interesting subplot starting to happen here, and the Brazilian fans are starting to get frustrated. They're not used to their team having to defend for long stretches like this, and especially against an opponent I'm sure they feel is inferior to them. Now, Carlo Ancelotti might be happy with it, but players are human, and as you start to feel the crowd a little bit restless, you start to press a little bit more. Either leave yourself exposed or it can help you.
Haaland against Gabriel again. Still on here. Maybe something Ødegaard. And this time it's Alisson. But there's an opening for the Norwegians, and the skipper couldn't make it count. Really good work from the Liverpool goalkeeper.
So exactly what I said, Ian. Vinny Jr. started to press Neal in there, and he said, okay, we'll just go direct to that guy. Gets tangled up. A great tackle by Marquinhos in the end to prevent Haaland, but falls to Ødegaard, and he will absolutely want that one back. Alisson just guessed a little bit down to his left and did enough to keep it out.
I think it's a great point you raise about the tactics, Landon. Brazil's DNA still, I think, is adventurous football. Always has been, always will be. The fans kind of demand it. And if counter-attacking gets the job done and they win the World Cup, I think they quite happily forget it. Fair to say Ancelotti generally knows what he's doing. Bruno Guimaraes here. Deflected on its route out to Danilo. Back in again by Casemiro. Well, just too high. Martinelli was the player closing in on it. Was he onside anyway?
Yeah, he was. Christopher Ayer is absolutely livid with Ryerson here. And Ryerson looked back at him and said, well, what do you want me to do? Vinny Jr. is standing out here on my back shoulder. So you take one or the other. That was a big chance for Brazil. And here again, you see the physicality of Erling Haaland. Ødegaard can't believe this didn't squeak by Alisson.
Big chance. Goes begging for the Norwegians. Really talented side who put paid to Italy in the qualification process. Italy had to play a playoff in the end, and that didn't work out either for them. Be good to see them back in the World Cup someday soon.
Sorla has been really good for Norway today. Anytime they've had pressure, he's become their outlet. They can just play it to him. He's been pinning Douglas Santos.
Long ball in. Gabriel let it fly with Ødegaard waiting behind. Brazil want to take it quickly. They do. Vinicius up against Ayer. Does have this priceless ability to go past players. I didn't like that at all. He thought Vinicius was going through an amateur dramatics routine. Gave him a piece of his mind, I fancy, Landon there.
Yeah, tug on the jersey there. You could understand if Elfath called it. Not a ton in it. You can understand why he feels aggrieved.
And that is the half-time whistle that has blown here. Goalless, but Brazil missing a penalty kick. Norway had chances as well. Evenly poised here. Drama may be still to come. We'll check in with Rebecca Lowe in Los Angeles after our break. See you soon.
But we got a lot of food in this country. A lot of peaches, a lot of corn, a lot of apples, a lot of everything. We've got so much food that we can't even eat it all. So if we got all this extra food, how are 17 million kids in America struggling with hunger? I just don't get it. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to the hungry kids who need it. They can get you food even if you live in Idaho or Alaska or somewhere crazy like that. This isn't complicated. We got extra food and we've got hungry kids. Feeding America's done the math. Now it's your turn. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. I know you got internet on your phone, so what are you waiting for? We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Time now for halftime here at the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio, presented by Fox 1. And now a look at today's first half.
45 minutes in the books at New York, New Jersey Stadium. It's Brazil 0, Norway 0. We welcome you into the halftime show. I'm your host, Jackson Feltz, alongside the three-time national champion head coach Pete Fewing. Our first half recap is brought to you by the Home Depot. Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 setup. Build it like Beckham from living room to lawn with the Home Depot. And take the fast free delivery assist. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter, subject to availability. This game got going in very quick style. Third minute, Norway scored, but it was ruled offside. The biggest moment of the first half came in the 11th minute when there was a clear penalty kick. It needed some VAR review. Then Ismail Elfath, the referee, rules for a penalty. Bruno stutter steps, comes up to hit it, goes right, and it's saved by Haaland. Guesses correctly, makes the great save to keep it 0-0. You got another big save from Haaland later on Vinny in the 40th minute. Odegaard with a great shot for Norway in the 45th plus 3. Allison with a big save. It has been a good and exciting but defensive first 0-0 game so far. Pete, your thoughts on the opening 45?
Well, wide open, end to end. You're right. Each goalkeeper's made a goal-saving save or two. When Haaland can be physical and get higher up the field, it gives Norway a chance, whether they're running off him. But that is really, and actually the goal that you said was called back was a really nice build-up, wide right, definitely offside, but a good cutback and good finish. So the flanks on the right side for Norway, that was effective. Haaland up front posting up, and then Brazil, they just come in wave after wave after wave, and they're constantly coming at you, and they can do it in so many different ways, whether it's Vinny on the left-hand side, or they're going down the right-hand side, or they're running down the middle of the field. It is wide open. Norway does get 8 guys inside the penalty box if they can, right, to just clog it up. And it's the width of the penalty box. They're not out too wide. So I think Norway's got to be happy with the score. I think had Brazil scored on the penalty kick, it'd be 3-0, which is your prediction before the game, right?
I said it could be 3-0.
Yeah.
And I think that we would be on that track if Brazil had hit that 11th minute penalty kick that Bruno poorly, I think, hits to the right. But, because that could have opened up Norway. Brazil is so fast. They're so physical. They're so good. But 0-0 game right now, it feels like a goal, Pete, is imminent. But I can't tell you where the goal is going to be coming from, because it does feel so end to end.
Yeah, it does. And so when you're saying that, you're saying either team could score. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So, we saw it yesterday, these knockout stages. As the games go on, it does tighten up for teams, right? So we'll see who handles that better. I give the nod to Brazil with their rich history and their confidence that they know they can go and score goals, and the variety of players that can put it in the back of the net.
It is a 0-0 game right now between Brazil and Norway at New York, New Jersey Stadium. We'll continue with our keys to the match next. By the way, if you're just joining us and you haven't heard yet, by the way, Flo Balogun, the United States men's national team striker, he got that red card in the round of 32 win against Bosnia and Herzegovina. That red card has been suspended. Now, I'll say that again. The red card has been suspended. Flo Balogun is now eligible to play. Flo Balogun will be playing for the United States against Belgium in that game tomorrow at Seattle Stadium, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. That is the big news from earlier today. Rudy Garcia, the head coach for Belgium, spoke this morning. His response to the FIFA Disciplinary Committee allowing Flo Balogun to play, ruling him eligible, he said, "I didn't know that July 5th was April Fool's Day." So Belgium not very happy about that.
That's a good one.
We here in the United United States.
I don't blame him, but that was a good one.
We here in the United States are very happy that Flo Balogun is available. For Brazil and Norway, we'll take a break. We'll give you some keys to the second half coming up next. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
Don't you... Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Marty Markowitz had his share of problems. Troubles at work, a failing relationship. His parents had recently died. And so Marty decided to get some professional help. In the summer of 1981, he walked into the office of a psychiatrist named Ike Hirschkoff.
I go into his office, and we looked at each other, and he said, okay, why are you here?
Marty liked Ike, and Ike, well, he seemed to see something in Marty.
At the end of the first session, he said, I'm going to take you on as a patient. And he says, I don't do that with everybody.
But this psychiatrist, it would turn out, wasn't like other psychiatrists.
He cut me off from everybody. So the only person I could turn to was Dr. Ike.
And from the moment Marty started seeing him, he began to change.
We didn't see him. I mean, he lived around the corner, and suddenly we didn't go there anymore. And he wasn't coming over anymore. It's as if somebody died.
If Marty Markowitz had known what he was walking into when he first visited that office, he probably would have walked right out the door and never come back. This is a story about power, control, and turning to the wrong person for help for more than 29 years.
When Ike instructed me to buy this house, Ike told me, no, you can't use the master bedroom. You're going to stay in the back section of the house.
Oh, I'm trying to think when it really got nuts. It really got crazy. I'm Joe Nocera, columnist for Bloomberg Opinion.
Okay, it's a wild story.
The Shrink Next Door.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. Number one for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
Welcome back to the halftime show. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. Jackson Feltz alongside the three-time national champion head coach Pete Fewing. Right now at New York, New Jersey Stadium, it's Brazil 0, Norway 0. Our keys to the second half are brought to you by Fox One. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official English streaming platform to catch every unforgettable moment. Fox One brings the action straight to your screen so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live. Pete, we can look at this from both angles here. Let's start for Norway right now. They are in this game. They have had their chances. How can Norway find their way to victory?
Well, the way they created the first goal, going down the right-hand side, breaking quickly while in transition, that was effective for them. The second way that they created their best shot that Odegaard, unfortunately, Allison made a fantastic save with his left hand and then his body. The way that came was a long ball into Haaland. Haaland occupied a couple of Brazilian defenders. It bounced around, kicked out to Odegaard. He took a touch, hit the shot. So those two options, they haven't had much down the left-hand side, Norway. And then defending, I picked Nyland to be the player to watch.
Nicely done.
Yeah, well, he's had to stand on his head on the PK, which was great. And then he's come up with a couple of other big saves. So he's got to continue to do that. Norway could be a little more clinical in their defensive third when they have possession of the ball. They've given a couple of balls away, and that can be a disaster. That can be one touch and then in the back of the net.
And for Brazil, this is a team right now that have certainly had their chances more than even just the penalty kick. Maybe the biggest chance aside from that was the 40th minute where Vinny Jr. puts a move on in the box. His shot is saved by Nyland. But how can Brazil turn these chances into a goal?
A little more clinical finishing. I think that's the biggest part. It's interesting. They've had 35% to 65% for Norway. Yeah. So when they have it, though, they're so lethal and they're so dynamic in their running and they're running off the ball. They've just got to be a little bit more quality. And Anders Hurst yesterday kept saying, trust the process on his call on radio. And I think they just have to keep doing what they're doing. They will get opportunities. They've had, interestingly enough, they've only had 4 shots Norway's had 4 shots. Brazil's had 8 shots. So if they keep doing what they're doing, I think they will find a goal, unless Nyland just stands on his head.
You're right.
It doesn't give anything away.
It's interesting, Pete, because we talk about this tournament overall right now, the World Cup, where we've seen glimpses, I think, of the greatness. We've seen France many moments of saying, yep, there's the favorite. That's why they're the favorite to win the World Cup. I think we've seen, yesterday, the 1-0 over Paraguay. And then we've seen similar things from Brazil, where it's like, okay, that's why they're a favorite to win the World Cup. And then now, 0-0 against Norway. Spain's been the same way. You think about the draw to open up the tournament. I think you can kind of point to everybody and say they've had their moments, but then they've had their moments to complete other way. Is Brazil right now, in your mind, a team from even what you saw in the first 45 minutes that has the quality to win a World Cup?
Well, I think this is their biggest challenge. Morocco was good, 1-1 tie. Haiti, not so much. Scotland, not so much. Japan, that was a good test for them, and I think they rose to the occasion. For me, their stock's gone up.
Yeah.
So it's a testament to how talented all these teams are as we advance into these next rounds. Interesting, 81 degrees there, a little bit of rain maybe, but the bench depth, I think, goes toward Brazil, whereas I don't think so. I think they've got 3 or 4 weapons that can come in and help them.
Yeah, and Neymar being one of them, obviously the big
Thiago,
name who's been coming back from injury. There's a lot of firepower there for Brazil's bench. We'll see for Norway, can they find a goal? Gosh, going up 1-0 for Norway early in the second half would do certainly wonders. Again, the winner of this game will go on to the quarterfinals. They will, in the quarterfinals, be facing the winner of England and Mexico. That takes place at Mexico City tonight. Mexico at Mexico City Stadium against England, obviously. This is going to be one of the absolute best games of the tournament coming up later this evening as well. But we will send things back out to New York, New Jersey Stadium, where Ian Dark and Landon Donovan have the call. It's a 0-0 game between the Brazilian team and Norway. We'll get a break. They'll be next. You're listening to FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
When you work undercover, you really have to play the role because you stand to lose more than just an Oscar. If you make a mistake, these people will kill you in the blink of an eye.
If the American government asked you to move to Colombia to hunt down the world's most brutal narco-terrorist, what would you say?
I was a rookie policeman shaking in my boots.
In the 1980s, a new generation of American special agents landed in Latin America, tasked with capturing a new breed of ultra-violent narco-terrorist.
She would kill you if you owed her money. She would kill you if you encroached on her territory. She would kill you if you personally insulted her. Sometimes she would just kill you for the fun of it.
He had all the resources in the world, hundreds of millions of dollars.
A man that could have a political candidate running for president assassinated on stage. This was war.
My name's John Cuban. I'm the host of a new podcast series called Real Narcos. It follows the stories of the world's most dangerous drug lords and the American special agents who hunted them down.
Here you are, a doorway away from the most wanted man in the world. You're not expecting him to go down without a fight.
We didn't have sophisticated software. That didn't exist. The software was a pen and paper.
The only destiny drug traffickers have is either prison or death.
Real Narcos sits down with the fearless agents and journalists who were there on the ground at the time to tell the inside story of the hunt for some of history's most dangerous criminal masterminds. These guys are the real deal. And this is Real Narcos.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
We now rejoin Fox's live play-by-play coverage of the second half of today's FIFA World Cup 2026 match. Follow all the exclusive World Cup action on iHeartRadio.
Pretty well, we thought, and replace him with Shelder up on that side. Similar type, Benfica player, tricky, And Oscar Bob, transferred this season from Manchester City to Fulham, will play on the right wing instead of Surlot. What do you think of that, Landon?
I'm stunned. I literally cannot believe it. Unless one or both of them picked up an injury, I can't imagine this was planned in any way before the game. So I'm quite stunned. I thought both were very good and very impactful in the game. I guess we'll find out post-game from Solbakken, but yeah, very interesting.
It's a big call by him. An early call as well. Maybe he fancies those two can get behind the Brazilian fullbacks and get to the byline. But let's see.
I asked you at the half which manager would be happier, and I guess that would tell me that Solbakken is not happy with something.
This attack of Norway's could not stop scoring in the qualification process, including an 11-0 win over Moldova. Just to check on the teams going through at the bottom of your picture. No changes at all for Brazil, who have been playing largely on the counter, but they have carried the greater threat, it has to be said. Martinelli in that slightly unfamiliar central role that Ancelotti seems to like to see him. He's usually an out-and-out left winger when he is used by Arsenal, which isn't all the time. Is Vinicius Junior. Brazil, of course, I'm sure you don't need the identification in their famous yellow and blue with the white socks. Rayan. Well defended by Hegem. The hero for Norway, no doubt about it, their goalkeeper, Oyan Niland. Their oldest ever World Cup player at 35. He did have spells with Aston Villa, Norwich, Bournemouth and Reading in England. Man looks a little bit bemused. The flag goes up. Hint of a hand, wasn't there? Or an arm, anyway.
Just trying to work through here, Ian, and figure out why the substitutions, assuming neither of them are injured. Sorloth was doing such a good job on this right side for Norway of just pinning Douglas Santos. They were able to get out of pressure anytime they were under. They could just ping it to him. He would hold it, and they could get out of pressure.
Here's Oscar Bob's first involvement on this right-hand side. Gets a little reminder and welcome to the game from Douglas Santos.
I'm sure they'll both score now that I've said that, but yeah, just very interesting.
It's the coaches who have to make the big calls. Some even work. Here's Aya. All the towns and cities in Norway, this game kicked off at 10 o'clock at night, Norwegian time. All the kids stayed up. It's still light. It's light all the time.
I was going to say, the sun doesn't go down. It doesn't matter.
Might be hard to see those big screens in Oslo and Stavanger and Bergen, Trondheim, and all places north into the Arctic Circle. Berg with a good piece of work and thinks, why not? But he found, well, I think, beyond Rosie.
It's been so easy throughout the afternoon for Norway to get into these attacking positions. The Brazilian front four in particular not put in the requisite effort to defend them, so they've done a good job picking them apart. Ultimately, the final product is lacked, but again, very easy for Norway to get into the attacking third.
Miscue really by Casemiro. Berg won the header. Berg getting through a lot of work in that midfield. He's become a starter at this World Cup. He's kind of forced his way in. Odegaard again. Big chance for him in the first half. Now Bob. who's come back from a broken leg in recent times in his career. Bit early to be talking about it, but here's something. Norway have never, ever taken part in a penalty shootout. Stana Solbakken been charged for 5.5 years now. His playing career ended when he had a heart attack on the training ground and was revived on the scene during his time at Copenhagen. So it's great he's gone on to have the career he has. Oscar Bob. Working in tight spaces, a bit too tight in the end. Brazil happy to sit in and look for quick breaks. Of course, they've got the kind of players who can affect those quick breaks. There's one of them, Rayan, on the ball now. High press going on from the Norwegians. They've got it back again as well. Brazil are having to spend an awful lot of time without the ball in this game.
And that will absolutely wear you out on a day like today, Ian. Maybe not in the first 45, 50, 55 minutes, but as you get deeper into the match, absolutely it will. Now, Carlo Ancelotti has a lot of options on the bench that he can bring in, especially attacking options if these guys tire. But Norway, the very mature performance so far. And then the question for them is, with all this possession and the ease with which they're getting into the Brazilian attacking third, how much risk do they want to take in pushing numbers forward, knowing that Brazil are happy to sit in a little bit and counter?
Yeah, the danger for Norway is being caught by a sucker punch. So I think the battle lines are drawn here.
And no matter what Brazil might have thought this game was going to look like when it started, the reality is Norway have pushed them back and deep into their own end. And so they don't have a choice but to defend. And again, that front four is not accustomed to defending and running and sprinting and chasing. So moments like this, it's very easy for Norway to receive it and face forward.
Wolfer here with the cross, nobody on that near post at all. He needs to make better use of that, and Hegem likewise, really, with the careless ball into touch from the Bologna defender. So much expectation always with Brazil. Sheldrup taking the place of Nusa for this second half. Now then, here's one of those counters from the Brazilians. Vinicius. Well, it's a brilliant piece of play. Gets to the byline. Can he finish it? No. It's goal kick in the end. It did come off Vinicius last. Or is that going to change?
Well, this is really good from the referee, Ismail Alfaf. As you see the ease with which Vinny drives by these defenders. This ball comes off the defender, then hits Vinny, but he's out of bounds already.
Yeah.
And I think the referee should actually lean on the side of giving a corner, because you are allowed to then give a goal kick if it was wrong.
I think Aya knew what had happened and had a smile on his face for Vinicius. They both knew. Corner's right. They've got it right. Looking for a little near post flick on. Didn't quite work out. In the last game, Brazil had 39 crosses in the end against Japan. That was the most ever in any Brazil World Cup game since Italia 90. But it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the things I was going to bring up. Now, they're not losing. They were losing in the Japan game, and that was how they realized that they were going to create chances. But I'm a little surprised they haven't taken more of that approach today. Norway, of course, a more physically imposing team than Japan, but I just thought that might be something that they would consider.
Scan the QR code on the screen to vote for the Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. That may well be yet to be decided. It's goalless, but it's intriguing. Norway thought they had a good team. I think we're seeing they have got a good team. Odegaard again. Oscar Bob. A little bit of movement. Schelderup. Norway have the ball back again.
Ian, what's interesting, Norway do have a good team, and what differentiates them, there's Chris Rock, Woody Harrelson, what differentiates them from some of the other good teams, Japan a good team, Cape Verde a good team, Erling Haaland changes everything because you have a guy who can make a goal out of nothing. And when you have that, it really does scare teams. Cape Verde and Japan, yes, a little bit scary, but better teams are able to play more aggressive against them. With Erling Haaland on the field, you just cannot switch off for 1 second or it's in the back of your net.
Landon, just watching Chris Rock there, kind of made me hungry. They seem to have a feast there, didn't they?
He lives a good life. No doubt about that.
Hegum here for the Norwegians. Can they turn all this possession into something on the score sheet? Brazil quite frequently with everybody behind the ball. Half-time substitute, Schelderup. Brazil change on the way. Endrick is going to be introduced as he was against Japan, and Cunha looks like him will be making way. I can confirm that is the case. So the young striker of whom such big things were expected hasn't quite happened in his career so far, but it still might.
It's a relatively quiet day for Matheus Cunha, but he, of course, drew the penalty that should be the difference right now in the match. Endrick came in their Japan game, played centrally through the middle. That's what he'll do here as well, I would assume.
Julian Riasson. Odegaard for the reverse ball. Brazil break it up, and straight away they're thinking transition, break, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Endrick, first involvement in the game, big chance, he's messed it up. Oh, what an introduction that might have been for young Endrick, but he fluffed his lines.
Well, another turnover by Norway leads to this. So good from Vinny. Cuts inside. Look at this little delicate pass outside of the right boot. He's waiting for Endrick to just move it to his right foot and slot it home. He was so adamant about getting it on his left. And in the end, it became a much more difficult chance. Haaland does a good job spreading himself. But that has to be a goal. Big miss.
Huge opportunity. That's what Brazil have been waiting for all this time. This is the game that they're going to play. And they've had chances doing it. Well, apart from the penalty, none bigger than that.
And Ian, I know there are millions of kids watching at home too, including my own kids. I always tell them you need to work on your weaker foot. The best in the world, even Lionel Messi, who has the best left foot arguably of all time, he scores a lot of goals with his right foot too. And he was so reluctant and reticent to get it on his right foot, which would have made the difference. And it could mean the difference between Brazil going on or going home.
How costly might that be? Gabriel. A lot of red shirts supporting this attack. Here's Oscar Bob. Ran into a yellow wall in the end. Coming up on Fox, Mexico against England from Mexico City. That will be quite something. Coming up after our game on Fox. There's some talk of changing the kickoff time. That isn't going to happen. Endrick. Corner.
Vinny Jr. just looked at him with his arms out and said, what are you doing? I'm standing here 1v1, but you have to like the endeavor.
Well, I remember when Vinicius first got in the Real Madrid team, one or two players, Benzema, it became public, it kind of wasn't very happy with how raw he was and almost was advising the other players not to give him the ball. So he had a tough start at Real Madrid, and of course it changed pretty dramatically at the end. A Brazil corner kick. Haaland got a good punch to it. Made in by Douglas Santos Rea. Oh, that moved in the air, and Haaland made another good save. He really had to change direction there. It looked like that anyway.
Yeah, I think he saw it late. It looked like it deflected. We'll get another look at it. He really had a lot to do there. Either deflected or just couldn't see it. Brazil starting to turn on the pressure a little bit now.
Yeah, just coming out of that shell. Vinicius. Past Rierson like he wasn't there. Those two did face each other in the Champions League final a couple of years back. Casemiro to the back post, and Bruno Guimaraes denied again by a brilliant piece of work. Flag was up though. Flag was up. Wouldn't have counted, but the goalie didn't know that.
Well, it's an excellent save in the end. That didn't matter. Casemiro just waits a second too long. He wants to hit it first time, and he waits. And that just allowed them to stray offside. And what a save this is.
Bruno Guimaraes, look at that. From Oyan Haaland.
And here's the earlier chance. Yeah, just a little deflection. Does a good job keeping his focus. Now a sub for Norway here.
He's playing a stormer, this Norwegian goalkeeper, including a penalty save. Eliasson, who's just come back from injury, goes off, and on comes Fredrik Aursnes of Benfica to take his place in the right back position. I think that's just because probably Rierson only had about an hour in his legs after his injury.
Well, Vinny Jr. also starting to come to life too, so you need some fresh legs there.
The other thing to think about here is, when does Rafinha come on? If at all. Maybe he's got a quarter of an hour or something like that. That could change things. Aursnes towards Haaland.
Well, importantly, and you said it before the game, Paquetá is not dressed for the match, meaning he has no chance of playing, obviously. And we weren't sure with Rafinha, but clearly if he's on the bench, then he's eligible to be used. So we may see him.
It's a big test, isn't it, for Aursnes coming into the team and having to mark Vinicius Jr. That's not an ordinary kind of job.
No, nor is it a fun job.
Probably not, no. Harshness wasn't selected for 2.5 years until earlier this month. Or last month, I should say. When they got ready for this World Cup. Now Berg. Wolfowicz. Schelderup.
I think at some point, Schelderup and or Oscar Bob should take a chance and clip some balls into the box. Erling Haaland is playing 1v1 with Gabriel.
Schelderup's ball in. Oh, it nearly dropped for Haaland. You can see his frustration there. Just a little deflection took it away from him.
Yeah, and right on cue here. Just a dangerous little ball into the area. Alisson gets his hand on it. Nearly falls to the waiting Erling Haaland. And both of them glad to see that go out for a corner kick.
Could have bounced anywhere, that one, really. It is a Norwegian corner. Tension rising here in New Jersey. Near things, no goals, not yet. Schelderup again. Bob. Getting plenty of success with Schelderup on that side. Much involved since he came on. Bob with a nice little turn. Cross the face of goal. Haaland couldn't quite reach it. Inches in that.
Oscar Bob does a great job just letting the ball roll across him, slides it in for Iyer, and what a ball this is from your center back, outside of the right boot. To a diving Erling Haaland, who stretched, just can't get there.
Whoa. That's a rueful smile, I'd say, from Erling Haaland. Martinelli is off. Neymar being introduced. Rayan comes off as well. And Danilo Santos into the midfield. Neymar, who's never played beyond the quarter-final in his 3 World Cups before this. Big reception for him, of course. He's only played 14 minutes in the tournament so far. Match break sponsored by Lenovo and Brazil, with chances, particularly this one by Endrick, but it stays for the moment, goalless.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox 1, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox 1. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox 1 for complete terms and conditions.
This is Lele Pons from Suite 305 with Lele Pons. Game day at my house, it's chaos, but like in a fun way. The TV's ready, the remotes are ready, the kids' toys are going off, and somehow everybody needs batteries at the exact same time. That's why I keep Duracell stocked. And Duracell just released limited edition Duracell and Messi battery packs. The design is inspired by Messi's iconic left leg tattoo. So every battery feels like it comes with an extra kick. From the TV remote to automatic corkscrew, Duracell keeps us game day ready. Duracell double and AAA batteries are the only ones built different with power boost ingredients for long-lasting performance you can trust. Find the limited edition Duracell and Messi batteries in stores at Lowe's and Walmart or on Amazon.
4th of July savings are happening now at the Home Depot with select appliances starting at $398. Plus, get free delivery on appliance purchases of $398 or more, no membership required. Upgrade your kitchen with a modern and sleek GE Profile refrigerator featuring hands-free autofill for the perfect pour every time. And make laundry day easier with 2-in-1 washer-dryer combo innovation that completes laundry in about 90 minutes. Shop top brand appliances now at the Home Depot. Offer valid June 17th to July 8th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Welcome back. Ian Dark alongside Landon Donovan as Brazil face Norway in one of the standout ties in this round of the World Cup. Could have been goals. Haaland has been pretty close in the last 5 minutes before the break. Neymar is on. Is it written in the stars for him today? You do wonder, don't you? Something's got to give, you feel here.
What a story that would be. These Brazilian fans would go absolutely crazy if he were to score.
There was a debate about whether he'd even make it to the World Cup. He had a knee operation, got a calf injury just before the World Cup, which has limited his involvement so far. He's back in the Brazil squad after 3 years away. Carlo Ancelotti with implicit belief in his quality, even at the age of 34. Just thinking, if he'd been on the pitch, he might well have taken the penalty.
It's a good point, yeah. He certainly would have wanted it, I know that.
Yeah.
Interestingly, he's playing as a central striker, so he's high. Danilo playing underneath on the left, and then Vinny Jr. wide on the left. So they're going to really overload this side of the field with quality and energy with the fresh legs in.
He's a dynamic player, Danilo Santos, who plays for Botafogo. Might be a little bright spark to just lighten things up a little for Brazil.
And then the knock-on effect of that is they moved Hendrick over to the right side.
Aya bringing out of defense. It was Aya's very good-looking cross that nearly provided that goal for Haaland. Now then, here's Ødegaard. Haaland has shut the door. Ødegaard's got the ball back, though. And mob-handed, Brazil crowd him out. You won't have forgotten that the US v Belgium round of 16 is tomorrow on Fox. Coverage 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. For all the build-up and, of course, the game itself, it should be massively excited. John Strong, Stu Holden. Fancy the US chances. The Balogun thing's a bit of a controversy. He can now play in the game. The ban is, what is it they're saying? Suspended.
Suspended, not rescinded.
What's your view? Belgium don't like it, do they? Clearly.
Well, no, neither should they. But objectively, if they looked at that play objectively, they would say, okay, it wasn't a red card now. It's unprecedented in a big tournament for FIFA to suspend a red card like that. They have done it in qualifiers so people don't miss the World Cup. It's clearly controversial. As a U.S. fan, of course, I love it. And our team is much different with Balogun in the lineup, so.
Yeah, I think it's the optics, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, it's the optics. So that debate will rage on.
There's nothing wrong, Ian, with taking back red card. Leagues all over the world do it. Just hasn't been done yet, and so people are upset about it, understandably so.
Shot of Leonardo DiCaprio. Seems like everybody wants to be around this World Cup. I think it's been very heartwarming to see just how many people have got into the game. Everywhere you go, I went to a lot of office workers having their lunch the other day. They were discussing what was going to happen in Group G. Never seen that before.
I play golf with guys on Friday and Saturday, and all of a sudden they're all experts on soccer.
Here's Neymar. You see his football brain working overtime. Vinicius. Laid off Bruno Guimaraes. Danilo. Blocked by Volfa. Now Casemiro. Just one mistake or one moment of inspiration could tilt this one. Bob. He's got Auschness to his outside. Goes the other way. Asked a bit of Ødegaard. He kept it alive though. Shelder up. Cutting inside. And Alisson had to be sharp to keep it away.
This is so good from Erling Haaland. We don't see it yet, but as the ball comes up to him, he just uses his body so well against Gabriel. It falls down to Norway in the midfield. They end up creating a big chance there for Shelderup.
Good save from Alisson, whose father and grandfather were goalkeepers as well. Looks like the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Ødegaard. At times he's run the game in that midfield today. Christopher Ayer. Shadrup's in quite a lot of the ball. Volfa. Marquinhos is in the right place, as he so often is. Inside the last quarter of an hour of this, quite a tussle for that place in the quarterfinals. Norway have never played a bigger game than this in their history. I'm sure all their fans watching will be proud to see how their team are performing against the might of Brazil. Would have been unthinkable in days gone by, for sure. But this is a special generation they've got. No question, Carlo Ancelotti paying them full respect here. Truth to tell, Landon, both coaches will be quite happy to get through anyhow, anyway.
Yeah, just ask Argentina.
Yeah. Sometimes has to be like that. At the World Cup, it's a long old campaign with an extra round, of course, this time. You've got to get through 8 matches to go all the way. With this drop here to Haaland. Hammered away by Danilo. You can see the alarm bells ringing every time Haaland gets anywhere near the ball. Ederson, who was a late addition to the squad after the injury to Wesley that ruled him out. Looks like he's going to come on, the Atalanta player who, as we read, is on his way to Manchester United. That's the latest idea from Ancelotti. Bruno Guimaraes. This is the moment he would love back again, to have another go at that one. Having a good World Cup, though, that aside.
Yeah, fantastic World Cup, but sadly, this is what will be remembered if Brazil are not able to prevail today.
Well, there's always an inquest every time Brazil go out of a World Cup. It might be a very deep inquest about the way they've gone about it here, playing on the counter, which is kind of against their natural instincts. But it's the way they've chosen to attack the job. Shelderup has been busy since he came on. Haaland scores again! Norway lead! The Northern Lights are shining!
Wow. Haaland just scored. 1-0. Norway is going to knock out Brazil.
It was inevitable. Erling Haaland yet again
There he is.
scoring for the 14th consecutive competitive game for his country.
1-0. 81st minute.
And he says, who cares if I don't touch the ball much in
Can't
the
show
game?
it all, man.
Give me
They're gonna
one
take my
chance.
camera down.
Just like Harry Kane, shocking defending from Endrick. Just gets to glide by him. Gabriel watching the ball. Erling Haaland cuts in front of him. Sheldrup knows where to put it. And as we know, when it lands there on that man's head, there's only one outcome. 1-0 Norway.
Even when that ball was in the air on its way, you knew what was about to happen, and it did. He's only touched the ball 21 times.
There he
He's
is.
scored.
Right on cue.
Football royalty,
Haaland.
Erling Haaland. Is that the goal that is going to knock Brazil out of the World Cup? What have they got now?
You said it, Ian. They're playing with fire, and it just felt in the last few minutes that Norway were turning it on a bit. And over in this knockout round so
That's
far,
the exact
from
face
32s
that
now to
made them score
16s,
this goal.
the team that has applied themselves and tried to go make the game and win the game has more often than not been rewarded. Brazil just sort of sleepwalking through the game at times, and Norway have made them pay for it.
Well, Ancelotti in his career has been a lucky general. It hasn't happened by luck, of course, but it's often seemed that way. Needs something now. Brazil, is it going to happen again to them? Knocked out the last 5 World Cups by European teams. Here's another one. They trail with the clock now into the last 10 minutes of normal time. Thousands and thousands and thousands of Brazil fans here all around their home country with those worried faces, unless his team can come up with something pretty quick. The ball has to just overshadow a part of the quadrant. That's why he had to move it. Neymar with a corner kick in. It's going to be another corner.
You know, Ian, I talked about that front four of Brazil just not really defending well or wanting to defend. Endrick just throws his leg at Sheldrup, has no interest in defending, and ultimately
Norway's
leads
got
to the
it.
assist that leads to the goal.
1-0.
Here's the next corner kick.
Controlling possession right now.
Well, they've come back
84th
before
minute.
in this World Cup. Haaland back helping out his defence as well, as he will have to do. Is Neymar. Could he do it one more time? Neymar, can he roll back the years? Vinicius stays down, break is on, Oscar Bob. Bob again, and now they've got support up to the attack with Patrick Berg. Norway just quite happy to play keep ball here, let the clock run down. It's up to Brazil to go and get that ball. They can't just sit back now. Casemiro is an exasperated signal to one of his teammates.
I was going to say, Ian, Norway have to be careful not to just sit and defend for these last 10 minutes or so. This is really good from them. Anytime they can kill 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute really helped them get over the finish line.
Norway have scored and conceded in all 4 of their World Cup games so far. If they can mend the conceded column, they're going through to the
Ooh, chance
quarterfinals.
right there for Haaland
James
again.
Corden and his team will be on at Fox
Had a
with
good
their Fox show
chance to make it
tonight, and
2-0.
the nightly wrap of the World Cup action.
Here's a kick
And
going
besides,
in.
that's at midnight local.
Try to chip him. Oh, what a save, back post. Big time save.
Fun for Brazil at the moment. Oh, and that bounces dangerously onto the post. That could have been a free goal. And that was another magnificent save by Haaland in the end.
Oh, my word.
Wow. You wonder how that stayed out. And here comes the cross. Aya gets it away. Vinicius to lay it inside. Casemiro! Goes for a throw-in.
I can't believe what I just saw twice in a row. Here's the later chance. Casemiro just has to play this along the ground, Ian. If he does, it's a tap-in for Neymar.
Yeah.
You see the late boot there hit Haaland, and he's down. But the earlier chance just deflects so awkwardly. Doesn't know a lot about it. Look how quickly he gets his feet set.
Wow.
Fingertip off the post and stays out. Incredible.
He has been a hero today. Oya Haaland, the 35-year-old goalkeeper.
Something tells me Brazil's going to equalize here.
But this fellow has been out of this world today. What a save. It looked like he was beaten all ends up by that. And then what was it? The last nail on the last finger onto the post.
Good thing he didn't get a manicure this week.
You know what you mean, Landon? You're right. This Berg, full of running in that midfield. The Bodo Glimt man today looked after the football so well in the main. Caught 1 or 2 counters. Had so much of the ball. And Brazil have got to get that ball and start doing something with it pretty fast now, as the clock could be counting them out of this World Cup. Bob. Ødegaard again. Corner to Norway, and there'll be no hurry to take it either. He conducts the Viking orchestra behind that goal. They're starting to dream, those fans. They wonder if they might even be back here in 2 weeks' time for the final. Well, just imagine. The referee would probably get on with this here. With the way things have been at this World Cup, they won't be allowed to time waste. Shouldn't be anyway. Is Alsnes. And then Aya. Played long. Another shoving match between Haaland and Gabriel, but
Brazil could be bringing their keeper out soon.
Today they're
just try to increase the numbers on offense.
word of banter. Who knows?
Saying right at stoppage time they pull their keeper.
Regardless, though, somehow. Neymar. Vinicius. Could he be the man for Brazil? Goal kick is the decision. Everybody takes another look at their watches. Is the long, long wait to reclaim the World Cup crown going to go on for Brazil? There it is again, the astonishing save from Oya Haaland. Shoulder up's been brilliant since he came on. Haaland, he wants another one. He's got another one. How about that? Extraordinary. Just phenomenal. Brazil now surely going home. He can't help it, can he? He just can't help scoring.
It is such a joy to watch this man work, Ian. Takes the touch, gets it out of his feet. Gabriel slightly opens his legs. It's the only opening he needs. Sorry, it's Danilo there. Low, hard, on the ground, skipping past the helpless Alisson. Another massive moment for that man. Norway surely going through now.
Touch 26 for Haaland, keeping up his average of 13 touches per goal. He's now level with Mbappe and Messi in the race for the Golden Boot. Casemiro's face tells the story. It's everything they feared in their worst nightmares, especially Gabriel here, that Haaland would undo them. It's what the Brazilian media were worried about. And the nightmare has become reality for them. But what about this from Norway? Can only imagine the scenes in the City Hall Square in Oslo, where thousands upon thousands of Norwegians, it's nearly midnight there. I don't think they're going to bed tonight, you know. A careless ball really from Auschness. Wolfer to keep it in play. Surely too much for Brazil to do here. 2-0 down as late as this. Hendrick, that chance he missed looks massive now. It did at the time. Vinicius. No way through for Danilo Santos. Haaland. And Berg, who's had a brilliant game in that midfield. He really has. It's one of the reasons Bodo Glimt had that big, deep run in the Champions League. He's very much their linchpin. All his family played for the club as well. They call him the royal family. Bodo Glimt. Sometimes in football, you can hardly believe what you're watching. And I think this game comes into that category a little bit.
I'll tell you though, Ian, if you closed your eyes and didn't know who was wearing what jersey, you would say Norway absolutely have deserved this today. This is not a fluke. It's not an accident, not a mistake. All in all, they've been the better team. Yes, they gave away the penalty. It was a bad moment. A big chance by Hendrick, of course. But by and large, they've been as good, if not better, than Brazil today.
Before this, Norway had only lost 2 in 20 matches. Guess what? Haaland didn't play 1 minute in either of those two.
And for all the talk about his goal scoring, you said it, Ian, he is a winner. He does all the little things he does to keep possession really matter. And he's been excellent in that way. Of course, the goals get the headlines, as they should. But he's done so many little things to help his team win.
Just listen to this. His record for Norway now reads 54 matches, 62 goals.
Incredible.
It's insane, isn't it? And at this World Cup, he now has 7 in 4 appearances. Who can stop Erling Haaland? Pretty good question.
I'm not sure anybody.
Well, it's the next job for either Mexico or England. Whoever wins that game coming up next on Fox on this remarkable day. Shelder up attacking that one. He set up the first goal. He's been a live wire since coming on. Tremendous performance and a great decision, you'd have to say. by the coach. Norway are winning the biggest game they've ever played. Quite simple. Ødegaard, he's been magnificent too. Sanderberger across the face of goal. Norway looking to rub it in with a third. It's fair to say they've out-footballed Brazil here. Ancelotti, his magic hasn't worked this time, and there's going to be a massive inquest, I think, into the way they went about this game, trying to play on the counter, see it back. It's backfired. Simple as.
Well, we saw it with the Netherlands as well, Ian. Just very bizarre for Brazil to play this way. It's not the Brazil we're accustomed to seeing. Yes, Ancelotti's a little more pragmatic than most, but this is not the way we're accustomed to watching a Brazil side play. And
Oh, wow. 2-0 Norway.
Teams that have endeavor and try to go win the game
Holy
have been rewarded
shit,
for the most
man.
part.
This thing's
These
over.
knockout rounds.
Brazil's out of it.
You also heard me say early on, Ian, that all this possession for Norway might wear out Brazil, and they just look completely exhausted. They can't get around the ball.
Well, that
This is
was my
helping Norway
favorite
kill
to
off
win
this
it.
game where if you had the energy,
Brazil's out.
you could still go chase the game, but they just can't get around the ball right now.
It is one of the oldest Brazil squads that they're fielding at this World Cup, and then there's an argument going on with Ødegaard. He won't care. I think he'll just smile to himself. We're 2-0 up here.
It's 2-0.
In this massive World Cup game. He's as cool as anything, usually, Martin Ødegaard. Brazil are ruffled. Of course they are. You understand, but there's absolutely no point in people losing their rag completely and picking up some kind of suspension. The
Oh,
referees
wow. We got a penalty.
sorted it all out.
We got a penalty here.
Pick up that yellow.
Brazil,
By the way,
chance to get on the board. It's Enric. He's down in the box.
First yellow of the game, by the way.
PK.
That's quite remarkable in itself. Well, we're going to get the whistle pretty soon now. We're
Enric
past
down in the
7
box.
minutes.
Could be a
They're
PK.
being added on. And Norway, well, it's pretty much an armchair ride for them now. Hegum with the latest clearance. Clean sheet as well by the look of things. And Brazil, frankly, on the day, just have not been good enough. The glitter of past years has faded. They hoped Carlo Ancelotti would be the man to do it. Not so, not this time for the great coach. Is he pointing to the penalty spot here?
Yeah, Brazil with the PK. I'm coming right back to
I
it.
think
It takes
there's
him forever
there's
to
an
get
elbow
going.
here from Ødegaard, who came on amongst all that.
I'm coming back to it.
As
It
he
just
jumps
takes
for
him
the ball, I
forever.
think he leads with his arm. It looks pretty clear from here. It's incidental. I don't think he means to do it, but nevertheless, he does elbow him.
It's Ødegaard, substitute. He was loose with the elbow. And Brazil are going to have a penalty kick. Let's bring in Mark Clattenburg here. I think this comes in the category of very, very... He's got his focus on the ball. His eyes are on the ball.
Neymar!
It's his opponent's shoulder, and that's why...
There's a PK and a shot! Goal, Neymar!
Very soft, but I'm not sure it'll get overturned by the VAR because it's not a clear error.
Brazil gets a score in the World Cup.
It's a Casemiro. I'm with
Little
you.
too late,
That is
though.
on the soft side.
It's one of those, though, Ian.
2-1 Norway.
If it happens in the middle of the field, he's probably going to call
Time
a foul.
has run out.
So that begs the question then, should you call
Ref
it
is
in the
about to
penalty
blow
area?
it
'Cause I
any
think he would
time.
call that if it was in the middle of the field.
We're now going up to the 100th minute. There'll be time added on. Neymar it is with the penalty kick. And with quite a lot to say by the look of it to Milan before he takes it. Goalkeeper saved one penalty today. He's not saving that one. Neymar gets himself on the World Cup score sheet and still chats away to Neelan about what I have absolutely no idea. The goalkeeper's been brilliant. It's 2-1, but how much more time can the referee add on?
Thing's over, folks. Brazil down, going home.
Leaning the other way and rolls it into the empty net. Question is now, is there enough time for one more chance for Brazil?
Got to pull the keeper.
Well, it's a lifeline, but it's a very, very late lifeline. Neymar's first Brazilian goal since 2023 in a win over Bolivia. Now, how much more is going to be added on here? That's, I think, what Ødegaard wants to know. Big decision by Ismail Elfaf, the American referee. And Norway will expect the final whistle to blow here. And the referee wants the kickoff taken again here.
Not sure what happened there. The frustration for Brazil should not be at the referee.
They blew
it should
it.
be how they played today.
Haaland did it. Haaland took him to the next round, the quarterfinals. Norway, the Norwegians knocked off the Brazilians.
Well, is there one last chance? This will be the greatest of great escapes. If Brazil could do it, Casemiro.
David knocks off Goliath. Biggest win for Norway in the country.
Long, only allowed to hold on to it for 8 seconds, remember. He doesn't want to make that mistake. Belts it downfield towards Haaland. And the referee does blow for full time. Norway are on their way to the last 8. Haaland is a hero. The goalkeeper is a hero. And Brazil are knocked out again by a European team. The 5 times champions are going home. Norway's incredible run continues. Erling Haaland with both of their goals. Only a late consolation for Brazil. What a story here. If they can make it here, they can make it anywhere perhaps. It's Norway on their way into the last 8. Let's send it back to
Norway in the quarterfinals? Nobody had that.
Did you hear?
I'm listening.
Foundeo Orforglipron is now approved.
Really?
Yes,
Haaland
really.
right up there for the golden
Foundeo
boot.
is now approved. Talk to your doctor about a new once-daily pill from Lilly. No insurance? Foundeo is available through
Big
Lilly Direct
disappointment
for
for Brazil. I noticed they weren't the same team
LillyDirect.com for full terms
watching a
and
couple of their
conditions.
group
Click the
games.
banner to see indication and safety summary with warnings or visit foundeo.lilly.com/risk.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off, well, still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is Lele Pons from Suite 305 with Lele Pons. Game day at my house, it's chaos, but like in a fun way. The TV's ready, the remotes are ready, the kid stores are going off, and somehow everybody needs batteries at the exact same time. That's why I keep Duracell stocked. And Duracell just released limited edition Duracell and Messi battery packs. The design is inspired by Messi's iconic left leg tattoo. So every battery feels like it comes with an extra kick. From the TV remote to automatic corkscrew, Duracell
Go get some
keeps us
Messi batteries
game
for
day
the
ready.
dildos,
Duracell double
guys.
and AAA batteries are the only ones built different with power boost ingredients for long-lasting performance you can trust. Find the limited edition Duracell and Messi batteries in stores at Lowe's and Walmart or on Amazon.
Time now as we look back at today's match with our post-match show as we continue our coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio.
Brazilian tears have frozen in the Arctic Circle. The upset of the World Cup has just been witnessed. Norway and the Viking King, Erling Haaland, have done it. They have defeated Brazil, a final score of 2-1 at New York, New Jersey Stadium. Norway, and they are celebrating in Oslo, and they'll be celebrating probably for all day and all night for a few days to come before their quarterfinal. Norway have done it, beating Brazil, and Erling Haaland, again, 2 goals in the 80th minute, and then again in the 90th minute, and a late penalty from Neymar, but it is no more. Brazil goes home. Norway moves on. Wow. Welcome into the postgame show. My name is Jackson Feltz. I am alongside the 3-time national champion head coach Pete Fewing. We are here for the postgame show to break down probably the result of the World Cup so far. You can say Paraguay, Germany, certainly that's in contention. I would say this outdoes it, Pete, because it's the way that Norway played. Norway earned every bit of this victory. They played on the front foot. They played in possession. They got 2 great goals. They deserve every little bit of this incredible win.
Yeah, picture perfect win. Unfortunately, giving up the PK at the very end, but yeah, they were fantastic. I'm very proud of how they played. They kept good possession. The goalkeeping was fantastic. Two great, absolutely great goals from Erling Haaland. I mean, the header.
Guys, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing England coming up next.
Second, shoulder perfect, and then the left footer outside the box takes